Good evening, everyone. My name is Jane Morley. I'm the chair of the Oversight Committee. I now call to order the February 9, 2023 quarterly meeting of this year. For the courtesy of those present here, please silence your electronic devices. And I would like to welcome Dr. Diana Gullett. I'm sorry. I would like to welcome Dr. Diana Gullett and her staff, Allison Campbell and Nancy Trower, Chair and Vice Chair of the School Board, and any visitors that are present here. Next, we will have the roll call by Ms. Diana Williams.
Okay. Jane Morley.
Present.
Jennifer Hatchett.
Present.
Marianne Collins.
Here.
Gordon Glover. Absent. Michael Holloway.
Here.
Diana Williams. Here. Barbara Brooks.
Here.
June Daly. Sarah Werkheiser.
Here.
Beverly Cohn.
Close enough here.
Bobby Guntner. Absent. Neil McDonald. Narvella Hayes. I think that's it. We have a
Thank
quorum.
you. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Next, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance. Can we all stand, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. With respect to our agenda, we had a slight error on our previous meeting minutes. Dated 7/28, you should have copies of the amended meeting minutes. There was a name change on page 4, and from Diana Williams, from Jennifer Hatchett to Diana Williams. So, can we have a motion to accept?
A second.
Okay, motion to approve by Diana Williams and second by Jennifer Hatchett. Thank you, guys. Now for the last meeting minutes. Do we have any objections for the approval of the meeting minutes for November 3rd?
Motion to approve.
Can I have a motion to accept? Thank you. Before I hand over the meeting for the district overview by Dr. Diana Gullett, I would like to thank all the voters of Marion County that have voted for the third tax referendum, the 1 mil tax referendum. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so happy that we got it done. Thank you. Dr. Gullett, please.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the Oversight Committee. It's a great pleasure to see all of you this afternoon. Thank you for your commitment of time and service and for being with us today. We were just sharing, Ms. Boston Ellis and I, it seems like it's been a little while, but we're right on track. So always a pleasure to see all of you here in support of our work. I want to recognize again, if I may, I have 2 outstanding board members here. I have the great privilege of working with 5 that are very committed to student success in Marion County, but I want to take a moment just to recognize our chair again, Allison Campbell, and Vice Chair Nancy Thrower, who are here in support of all the great work that's happening in our district. So I want to thank them for being here. So again, this afternoon, you're going to see the updates from our very dedicated team of the work that we're doing for students. Want to highlight a few things for you to recognize. Of course, accelerating our safety measures as we continue to ensure that, and we're very multifaceted in providing a safe working and learning environment for all. The expansion of our CTE offerings. I am very pleased to say that we are very solidly moving into the elementary schools at this point and working on those pathways and expansion of opportunities. Very committed to student choice and opportunities throughout our district. I know I've talked about this with the committee before, but we are committed to being mindful of being the 5th largest geographic in size in the state of Florida. We have to meet the students where they are, so we're committed to doing that thanks to the referendum dollars. Professional learning opportunities and supporting our educators where they are. We continue to have a very diverse workforce, and the teachers have the most critical role in front of our students every day and the most impact in their success. So real excited to let you hear more about what we're doing to support our educators. And I don't want to finish without recognizing somebody you're going to hear from today who represents those educators I've talked about. With us tonight is Jamie Roche. She doesn't know I'm going to say this out loud, but one of our very own Golden Apple finalists, Teacher of the Year, is with us. And we are privileged to have her speak from the trenches, if you will. So very honored to have her, and we look forward to hearing your feedback at the conclusion of our presentation. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Next, we're going to hear from the steering committee, the review of the current budget, Dr. Teresa Boston-Ellis.
Not quite a doctor. It sounded pretty good, though. I do have a sister-in-law that's she has a doctorate degree.
Well, you take
Sounds good.
finances.
As Dr. Gullett said, we are indebted to your volunteerism. We realize you don't have to be here, but you are here. And we're excited today, as you can see, the team that will be presenting an update on the cumulative second quarter, so from July 1 through December 31st. We'll bring an updated review of that. So today I have with me, as usual, Charity, who will be speaking to the physical education, Catherine Ott with career and technical education, Erin Martin for our media center, and Jamie Roche, as Dr. Gullett introduced her a little bit earlier. She will speak to not only the art but music programs, Janet Biddick with the professional leadership and learning, and Dennis McFadden, our guru of safe schools. So let's get started. We're all aware that this referendum is based on a 1 mil property tax. Voters approved it on August 28th, 2018 for the second referendum. It is effective July 1, 2019 through June 30, 2023, which is in just a few months. The allowable uses include reading, physical education, art, music, library, media, vocational programs to assist the district in meeting class size, retaining state-certified teachers, paraprofessionals, and school safety was added in this second referendum. To the right of the first slide, you'll see revenues that have been collected. So these are actual revenues with the exception of the 22-23 year, and that's the budgeted revenue. So, of course, being an accountant, I had to total it up. And including this year, we will have about $163.8 million over 8 years that has been generated in revenue. And the expenditures, including the budgeted expenditures for this current year, total $152.8 million. Also, I'd like to say we're excited that this referendum is renewed for another 4 years, and we appreciate the voter support. Yes, I'm clapping too. So let's talk about this year. As of 12/31/2022, we have received to date $6.6 million, which is roughly 23% of what was budgeted. And we've also spent $10.3 million, and that's roughly about 40% of what we had budgeted. We did have a slight decrease in the revenue projection, and that had to do with the final property tax assessment, and that is a normal reduction. There will be probably one more after the value added adjustment board meets and makes the determination if we have to refund some property taxes. And then there was a slight increase in the budget as well. This is just to give you a picture of the budget by program. And as you can see, we have 8 programs, the largest of which is the class size and the paraprofessionals. And this is just a snapshot. Actually, we'll go through each one of the programs one by one. Here is another snapshot of actual expenditures. The very last line, 22-23, those are the expenditures to date from July 1, 22 to December 31, 22. On this slide, we're looking at fund balance. Our ending fund balance for last year was $8.4 million. This does say budgeted, but this is our actual revenue through 12/31, $6.6 million, and the actual expenditures through 12/31/22, 22, of $10.3 million. So if our year ended today, we would have $4.7 million. Our actual budgeted fund balance is more like $11 million. We love the pictures because this always reminds us to keep our focus on our why we are here, and it's for the children of Marion County. For our class size reduction, which includes teachers and paraprofessionals, we had originally budgeted 129 teachers. As of the end of December, we had 122 teachers. We had budgeted 98 paraprofessionals. At the end of December, there were 90 hired. So we've spent to date about 41% of that budget. It includes salary and benefits only. Now we'll move on to physical education.
Good afternoon. I'm Charity Cornelius, and I'm the Physical Education Program Specialist for Marion County Schools. I just wanted to share some of the great things that are going on with our physical educators in that field. A large chunk of the budget, actually a majority of the budget, is strictly poured into funding those teaching positions. So while some other areas are spending things on other things, ours pay for people. So a lot of my slides, you're going to see our coaches and what they're doing in the classroom and out of the classroom with their colleagues. Last October, a team of 8 physical educators attended the Society of Health and Physical Education Conference, commonly referred to as SHAPE. They represented Marion County Public Schools and collaborated with professionals in their field from all over the state. These educators are dedicated to be on the cutting edge of changes in curriculum and development of best practices for our Florida health and physical education students. These same educators then returned to Marion County and delivered hands-on content area specific training to more than 80 of their colleagues in our most recent January district in-service. The training included recent developments in technology, classroom management, and best practices in health, wellness, and physical education. It was quite an experience. It was a collaboration between elementary, middle, and high school students, so it was really great to see all of them working together and sharing out some things. Our coaches were really fired up and ready to take on the second semester after all of their hands-on. It was a lot of fun. I wish you could have been. This year, this is probably my favorite, and you see it's quite hard for me to choose just a few pictures. So this year, as the first time since pre-COVID that we were able to host our elementary soccer meet. There were 10 schools, 240 student athletes and parents that were able to participate in this 4-hour round robin jamboree type event. So it was quick and fast, held at Rotary Sportsplex, but they had an absolute ball. We also, if you see in the photos on the right, I called them my baby avocados because they had those bright green shirts on. But they were phenomenal. These were actually student volunteers from Vanguard High School's Teacher Academy program, and they were absolutely amazing. And it was really great because they are technically future teachers. To see them interacting with students, parents, families, and to have a role where they were refereeing, where they were coordinating, and they moving students from point A to point B. So it was just a really great day, promoting fitness and sportsmanship with all of their other classmates and other schools.
We could have kept listening, Charity. So it was,
I get excited when I get off script, so I have to bring myself back.
right. So what did all of this cost in the first 6 months? For 18 PE teachers and 24 PE technicians, they've spent about 41% of their budget. As she stated, the majority of the funds are related to salary and employee benefits. There were some supplies and capital outlay. Every elementary school gets $2 per student to support or supplement some of the supplies and equipment that they need in this program. And I'd like to say that all of the programs are right on line in terms of their spending from the prior year. Now we'll move on to the vocational programs.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kathy Audi. I'm the coordinator for CTE in the district. So as you can imagine, our vocational programs are pretty expensive programs as far as technology and equipment go. So one of the projects that we've been working on here second semester is updating all of our iMac labs. So we have several digital technology, digital video, digital design labs with older iMacs that can no longer run the Adobe iCloud software. So we've been working on updating those. Pictured there is the Bellevue High School Mac Lab, which was just completed. And we plan to have all of our 2017 and older Macs replaced by the end of the school year. Also pictured is another one of our high needs program. That's actually one of our welding students. That's one of our high needs area in the community, and it's also a really good career for our students. So we're looking for those high skill, high wage jobs for our students. So welding is actually one of our more expensive programs. It requires a lot of expensive equipment and a lot of consumables that are very expensive for when the students are practicing. So thankfully, we've been able to use referendum funds to support those programs and to keep them with the supplies that they need so they can get all their practice in before they take their welding certifications. So typically in these meetings, we talk a lot about the equipment that we've purchased for our programs. So today I picked something a little bit different. Referendum also pays for transporting our students. So pictured here are some of our students interacting with business and industry. We were able to use referendum funds to take students from all 10 middle schools to Circle Square, to an event called the Youth Career Expo that Career Source puts on for us. There they get to hear from a guest speaker about soft skills. They get to interact one-on-one with business and industry in like a roundtable event, as well as attend a career fair and learn about their high school options as they're moving into high school. Also pictured is our next working events. That's where we take our 11th and 12th grade students. We take them out into industry, and they actually talk with people from the industry that they're interested in. So our agriculture students talk with agriculture industry members. Our digital students talk with IT members, and they get to learn about the jobs that they might be able to go into and all the careers that they have open to them, and really get lots of good conversations out of that. And we also use transportation funds to take our students on tours of industry. So also pictured are some of our health students touring the medical facilities at CF. Listed on this slide are all of the career pathways that we have open to students. These are currently open at all of our middle and high school programs. And as Dr. Gollett mentioned, we are working to expand down to the elementary level and get students, a taste of what they'll get to do in middle school and high school and start looking at some different career areas. I mentioned just a few of the things that we use referendum to support, but referendum supports our teachers, it supports our equipment, it supports all of our needs. And without these funds, we really wouldn't have been able to make the gains and expansions that we've been able to make in CTE and Marion County. So we're very thankful.
Thank you, Ms. Adi. A very good point. The equipment is expensive, but it is supporting incredible programs that most of them have industry certifications, which helps the student go right into the workforce. And we've all learned a lot about the careers that are out there for students who are not necessarily going to college, and this is great that we have those funds. So the referendum supports 19 vocational teachers. There were 20 budgeted, and there are 3 bus drivers that we estimate that we'll use throughout the year. That expenditure is not recorded until the end of the year when we look at all the trip tickets and calculate what the cost would be. So as she stated, much of the expenditures, in addition to salaries and benefits, go towards purchasing equipment. We've seen some really interesting type equipment. There was a couple of years ago a 3D machine for welding, and then there was also some things in the area of agriculture. So these kids are really far ahead of what other districts or maybe even colleges are experiencing. That total budget is $2.1 million, and they've spent about 35% as of the end of December. We'll move on to media with Aaron Martin.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Aaron Martin, Program Specialist for Library Media Services here in Marion County Public Schools. We've certainly had an exciting second quarter in our library media centers. Looking at our circulations, our elementary schools alone have seen over 5,000 title increase in their circulations. And I always like to show off, I stand by the fact that our media specialists are the most valuable asset that we purchase with our referendums funds. I shouldn't say we purchase our media specialists, but their salaries and their benefits. That's our most valuable asset we get from our referendum funds that go to library media services. And I like to show off the creative things they do to promote literacy on their campuses. On this slide, we can see some of the intermediate students at Bellevue Santos Elementary reading to the primary, the younger students, the emerging readers, promoting literacy to them, building that love of reading to them. 8th Street has a Lucky Duck promotion that's showcased there in the center. And the third slide, this is at Romeo Elementary. This is our second book vending machine that we have in the district. The other one's at Greenway Elementary. And students are able to, through their behavior and through their reading efforts, they're able to earn a token where they can go and purchase a book that they get to keep out of that vending machine. Ward Highlands was able to bring award-winning author Jared Lerner to their campus this fall. He is also an illustrator and digital artist. And he was sharing his creative process to kind of inspire the next generation of authors, we hope, and also promote literacy to them while they are reading. The last picture there is at Osceola Middle. They have created blackout poetry, which is where you take a piece of text that already exists, black out pieces of it, and create a whole new text. And you can see some of them were very creative where they have added in some illustrations to kind of block out some of that text.
Aaron, I would have to agree with you that it is always money well spent when it is promoting literacy and supporting our classrooms. So with the library media program, referendum is supporting 15 media specialists in the elementary, and they've spent about 39% of their budget to date. Again, each elementary school receives $2 per student to support what they're doing in the area of literacy and media. Next, we'll go on to Ms. Roche to talk art and music.
Good afternoon, and I'd like to say thank you because I am actually the face of this referendum, and I want to say how grateful I am. And so there's been lots of awesome things happening. The Marion Cultural Alliance, MCA, annually presents Applaud the Arts, Ocala's largest gathering of artists, art organizations, MCA members, and business community. This signature event kicks off the cultural season in Ocala with the announcement of art awards and cultural grant recipients. This year, the Art Educator of the Year was awarded to Ms. Brittany Schofield, Director of Bands at Howard Middle School. The Lifetime Achievement Award was presented to Ms. Lori Reeder, Magnet Coordinator at Westport High School's Marion County Center for the Arts. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I'm learning. Fine Arts for Ocala is the arts festival sponsored by Fine Arts for Ocala, also known as FAFO. The student art show features K-12 artwork by Marion County students on Citizen Circle in downtown Ocala behind City Hall. 48 of our Marion County Public Schools participated in the student art show. Our art teachers arrive after school the Friday afternoon before FAFO to display up to 25 pieces of student artwork. The student artwork is displayed Saturday and Sunday, and then the art teachers come back on Sunday evening to take down the students' artwork. The FAFO Festival Entertainment at Citizens Circle features several of our performing arts students as well as our participating schools. Included performing groups at Dr. and H. Jones Elementary, 8th Street Elementary School, Madison Street Academy of Visual Arts and Performing Arts, Shady Hill Elementary School, Bellevue High School, and Westport High. Every participating student receives a ribbon at the middle and high school level. There is one sponsor purchase ribbon for first through fifth place. At the elementary school level, there are 7 sponsor purchase awards. Students and parents have the choice to mark their art as not for sale, so no student is surprised. All of our award-winning student artists were honored at an evening award ceremony at the Appleton Museum, where their artwork was displayed for 2 months. The middle and high school band and the Middle Honor High School Band and Ocala Christmas Parade. The MCS Middle School Honor Band performed in October at Westport High School. Students are selected countywide by their directors to form the honor band, with each school equally represented, and are led by a guest conductor, culminating in a concert performance. Every MCPS middle and high school band program participated in the Christmas Parade of 2022. Westport played our national anthem before the parade began for the parade participants. We are excited about some up-and-coming district events, and we would be honored if members of the ICROC committee would attend some of our fine art events. Thank you again for your time and service to our community.
She said had so much information. We'll show you the pictures as well. Just want to start with art. This is all phenomenal, the artwork that our students are involved in. So that pays for 0.5 of the coordinator's position, 16.5 art teachers, 8.5 paraprofessionals. They've spent about 37% of their budget. Again, $2 for every elementary school student at each one of the elementary schools. Pays for a variety of things like supplies, ranging from light panels, clay rollers, Sharpies, printers, and of course some art memberships. So here are some of the pictures she spoke about with the honor band. And here are the upcoming events. Looks like we have one this very month. So we'll move on to music, the second part of the fine arts. And again, 0.5 of a coordinator, 17 music teachers, and 8.5 paraprofessionals. Also, in the music allocation, secondary receives an additional allocation for their music programs, not just band, but their music programs. They've spent about 38% of their budget, and some of their expenditures include equipment, ukuleles. I'd love to hear someone play a ukulele, and some other equipment that's needed in terms of supporting music programs. So now Janet Biddick will come and speak to us about professional development.
Good afternoon. We are thrilled to continue to support our newest teachers here in Marion County through this referendum and supporting our mentor and induction program. As you can see on the screen, we currently have 285 new teachers participating in this program that are provided a mentor, so they each get a one-on-one mentor. In addition to that, 44 of our schools receive a lead mentor that supports all of the mentors and the mentor inductees at the school. So they do this through monthly professional learning activities that support some of the areas that we are knowing, that we know that teachers need most, especially when they're new. And those areas are looking at the 5 C's of the learning environment, and that's culture, community, consistency, classroom management, and communication. So those are areas that we work with. On the next slide, you'll see that we are continuing our professional learning with our newest teachers. In the past, we've done a Great Beginnings each summer. At the end of the summer, we welcomed all of our new teachers to Marion County with a 2-day event. Well, we noticed through our surveys with teachers and administrators that all of the teachers that come in after that time really never got this opportunity. So we have provided this opportunity throughout the year, doing evening Great Beginnings, not a 2-day event, but at least an evening that we're welcoming all of our newest members to Marion County. And this slide shows, I believe it's Hammett Bowen, one of our most recent in December, one of our recent Great Beginnings programs. And the picture is Mr. Sigmund from Liberty Middle School, and he won the door prize. And we give out door prizes that have teaching materials to get them started for their year. So we're really very excited and very appreciative of this referendum funding that supports this mentor and induction program. And as you'll see on the next slide, I do this each time because it doesn't look like we've spent any money yet. And the reason is because we pay out our mentors and our lead mentors, so our ITDs and our lead ITDs, we pay them out at the end of the school year. So they work throughout the school year, they do different things, and at the end of the school year, they are paid out. So in approximately May, you'll see this fund diminish very quickly as we pay out those funds. And we appreciate it, and thank you again for all of your support.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Biddick. Our last topic, and it's leading out with important work in progress, is Safe Schools, and Dennis McFadden will bring that part of the presentation to you.
Well, good afternoon. We're excited about where we're headed with our school safety and security projects. It is absolutely amazing what we're doing. And again, we also want to thank the community, this committee, for being committed to another 4 years of the referendum. The Safe Schools Department is committed to making our district a safe learning and working environment. To ensure that happens, we have devoted time and resources to having 1 SRO on every school campus and 2 at selected schools. Although SROs play a critical role on our campuses, today I would like to spotlight the work that has been conducted by our Technology and Information Services and Technical Services departments. These 2 departments have been working tirelessly to complete the infrastructure needed to install cameras and door buzzers. Since October of 2022, They both have made these projects a priority and will allow us to exceed our initial projection of completing all school hardening projects in 2026. So as you can see with these pictures here, these, again, they have put everything on the back burner just to make sure that we get these cameras and door buzzers installed. Dr. Gullett, the administration, Ms. Boston Ellis working with her team, we made a commitment to get this done in a timely manner, and I would just want to give them a pat on the back for the work and commitment that they've done. This is just some of the things that they're doing. As you can see the picture there is the door buzzer. We should have door buzzers installed on all of our campuses by the end of this school year, with the exception of one school, which we, just some logistical purposes, we'll have to get that done during the summer. But by the start of August 10th of 2023, every school will have a door buzzer that will require you to buzz in before going into the schools. As you can also see, they're working with the cameras. The cameras within the, that's going to be a 5-year project. And it's one of those things that even once we get the cameras installed, we've got to continuously go back, upgrade them, take out the old ones and put in new ones. So that's going to be a constant challenge for us to make sure that the cameras are working all the time, but it's not something that we can stop ever building on. We're going to always have to build on the cameras. Again, Technology and Information Services has committed a total of 776 hours of employee labor for camera installations. The cabling installation is 92% completed. Server installation is 100% complete. So what they've done, even though they've ordered cameras, ordered door buzzers, they went and put the infrastructure in and anticipating those, the hardware coming in. And once it gets in, it's like plug and play. All they have to do is go in and hook it up, and then they're done. Camera ordering, we've ordered 100% of the cameras. We received about 62% of the order, but we're anticipating by the end of this calendar year that all of those cameras will be installed, come in and installed by the end of this calendar year. So this is just kind of our door buzzer hardware installation since October. This just goes to show you how much work they have been doing since October of 2022. They've made, a commitment to put a lot of stuff on the back burner because they understand the importance of this. The district understands the importance of it. You as a community understand the importance of getting these things done to help keep our campuses safer. So again, as you go onto the campuses around the district, you're going to have to buzz in to get into the schools. We ask that you follow the rules and the guidelines that we have for the person, the receptionist. Don't let other people in when you're standing there, groups of people. We're going to try to monitor that as best we can. Cameras are there to visually inspect the person as they're standing at the door. But again, this level of commitment that has been done by our technology department and our tech services department is way beyond what we anticipated, but they've got it done. Thank you.
I have a question,
Yes, ma'am.
if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
How often do we surface the door buzzers and the cameras?
So naturally, anytime something goes down or there's damage to it, we get an email or a phone call from the school, and we immediately put in a work order. And because of, again, the school hardening and the safety aspect of it, they make it a priority to go out and get it fixed. We have access, my department, to see all the cameras. So during the day, we're watching cameras, we're doing work, we're watching cameras. And if we see where, believe it or not, spider webs sometimes are being built around cameras, and we call the school and say, hey, can you get somebody to go out there and brush that spider web off the camera so we get a better visual picture of it, or it may fog up. But anytime something like that happens, we immediately change them when they go down or clean them up if they're dirty.
And is there a lead time if you have to replace any parts? What happens in the meantime?
So right now, we order enough parts to do to complete all of the camera projects, but we do have We try to keep some extra cameras on hand to make repairs immediately, but we don't keep a whole lot on hand because once we purchase them, the warranty starts running.
Right.
And you don't want a camera sitting up on the shelf for 2 years not being used. So we do our best to keep enough to make some immediate replacements, but not so many to where the warranty is going to run out.
Well, I'm very excited that we have a deadline. It's August 10th, 2023 for all of these to be installed and up and running.
Yes, ma'am. The door buzzers will be
Excited.
installed, ready to go. So any school you go to starting next year should have the door buzzer that requires you to buzz in. And then the camera projects, because what we do is we got cameras in the schools, but we got to go back and add additional cameras for some of those other places that we weren't able to cover in the initial setup.
Thank you so much. I
Yes.
I
appreciate
have a
that.
quick question too, please.
Yes, ma'am.
I read recently about unannounced searches at the school, and I was wondering if the safety program would cover education of some sort for the parents, the administrators, the students, to let them know what the plan is and how to avoid any problems. It seems if we educate them that we would be setting them up for success, and that a successful raid on a school would be nothing found from drugs or weapons. Let's see, and I thought maybe through this program here, if nothing else, that maybe the resource officers could at least distribute materials to the students and the parents to alert them to manage that program.
So what we have done, based on data, not just Marion County, not just state of Florida, but nationwide, there has been an increase in violence, weapons on campus, as well as drug activity on campus. And we have looked at this a while back, and we were throwing around some ideas on how we can put together some prevention measures. We don't want this to be a gotcha moment. We want this to be more prevention and education, to where we educate parents, educate students, educate staff, educate law enforcement, educate my department on ways that we can get kids to understand the consequences for coming on a campus with these illegal substances or weapons, any type of weapon, whether it be a firearm, a knife, or a razor blade, whatever. They are illegal, and they are against the Code of Student Conduct. So we have put together a communication plan. We're working closely with Lauren Debick and Kevin Christian, working closely with our law enforcement partners, our principals at the schools, just everybody within the district, to try to put together a communication plan where where the principals are doing morning announcements, talking about this potential search and procedures, sending out emails and Skyler messages to parents, creating videos. We're trying to do everything we possibly can to educate kids and warn them of what the consequences will be if they're caught with something illegal. I do feel as though this is something that we have to do. We need to do it. It should be done. And again, it's not about a gotcha moment. We don't want to see an increase in students being arrested, but we want to see a decrease in the weapons and drugs on campus. And the way we can do that is, again, by educating, pushing this out, letting parents know to talk to your kids. Check backpacks. Everybody, even if your kid is 16 or 17 years old, they're still under your house rules. Check backpacks, ask questions, talk to them, because it's not immune to anybody, from our middle schools up to our high schools, even our elementary school kids. We have to take an active role in trying to make them understand the importance of coming to school with a book, pencil, and paper, and not drugs and weapons.
We've received, as parents, I've received 3 different communications regarding this new announcement. Yeah, so I received an email, a phone call, and I think also the Skyward announcement.
And
So 3, if parents aren't getting it, it's not because they're not communicating with them. It's being sent out multiple different ways to parents.
You're going to get more. We got some videos scheduled. Trust me, you're going to get inundated with it. We're going to continue to push it out, because before we do this, again, we really want people to understand the seriousness of this. And we in Marion County want the parents to understand that and the students to understand this is a career-defining moments and decisions that they're making to bring something illegal or against the code of student conduct, on the campus. This is a matter of college or not college,
Yes.
federal job, state job, or no federal or state job, whatever it may be. We want them to understand the importance of not doing it. And if we can conduct these searches in a manner that's not so invasive and intrusive to their privacy, as well as not interfering with a lot of their education, that's our sole purpose. But we have to get them to understand that we have to do this, but we have to do it in a way to where we're educating them, and they just can't bring this stuff on campus.
Another question that I have, these student code of conducts, is it being handed to the children and the parents when they enroll in the classroom, or is it just available online?
The code of student conduct is online. When you, at the beginning of every year, I have to, as a parent, go online and I have to sign that I have this and stuff, and somebody could correct me, but it used to be a handout, but we're responsible as parents, absolutely responsible for knowing the code of student conduct and what's in there, and things that can affect our child's education.
So there is no handwritten notes given to them or a handwritten code of conduct, it's all online. What about those parents that don't have access to computer or online?
I'm quite sure that there is hard
way.
copies that will be available for anybody who don't have some type of online access. I can't answer that, but I'm quite sure there is some availability where they can go to the school and get a hard copy of a code of student conduct, both in English and in Spanish.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they all sign.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. McFadden. As you can tell, our school district is very serious about keeping our schools as safe as possible. And also, we appreciate your questions so that the community can know, because if they're listening to this meeting tonight, they'll know that we are making strides and what we're actually doing. So thank you for those questions.
I'll just say really fast, yesterday I was subbing at one of the middle schools, and it was drill day, apparently. We did our Alice drill, we did our fire drill, and we did our tornado drill. So we got all of those covered, but with the Alice drill and the fire drill, especially with the Alice drill, being a sub, I have an idea what to do, but the kids that I was in the classroom with said, no, this is what he would normally do, and we faked it and we talked about it a little bit. And they're very knowledgeable about what they're supposed to do in a classroom if it is a real code red and there's a real threat on campus. And I was very impressed with the 6th grade students and their what they knew and how they got into position. They were silent. It was the quietest 6th graders you could ever imagine. Not as quiet with the fire drill, but they really did a great job in all 3 of the drills.
Wow.
And tornado drill, they only do once a year, so that was a little bit, that was a new thing for them, especially with 6th graders at a new school, but it was their first time doing it, but they still did a great job. I was very impressed.
Thank you for your comments. So we will end with our formal presentation, and before I turn it over to Dr. Gullett, I want to reiterate that Safe Schools is a priority. We've spent about 45% of the funds that are allocated to Safe Schools, salary, benefits, also SROs, and the salary and benefits have to do with our guardians, in case someone's asking whether or not we've hired anyone, but that covers the cost of our guardians. Our SRO cost, a portion of that cost is paid by the referendum, and also as Mr. McFadden stated, there are security equipment, whether it's cameras or door buzzers or wiring or anything attached to that. And I just want to add also This isn't the only funding that we have for Safe Schools, but it does help tremendously. Some of our general fund dollars are used in the area of the fencing, and also we do get an allocation, and a lot of people are very surprised about the amount, but it's a little under $3 million. So if you think about all the work that needs to be done, that is being done, it is an effort that is covered through the general fund, through grants, and as well as the referendum. So it's very much needed. So now I'll turn it over to Dr. Gullett. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Boston-Ellis. Chair, members of the committee, I just want to underscore a couple of items. Our vision, as you know, is helping every student succeed. And I want to mention first and foremost about safety. We can't afford not to have a safe environment. And our approach is very proactive in nature. All of the research on safe schools is very clear in having a multifaceted approach in safety. So I am incredibly grateful to Mr. McFadden's leadership and the team and the work that we're doing. But it absolutely takes all of us. It's not just the staff, but it's the parents, community members. It's going to require all of us to be diligent in creating those environments and having those conversations at home. So we appreciate our families and their engagement and having this conversation to be proactive in what to avoid and prevent. I also want to just highlight again the literacy piece that you heard about again as an update. The foundation of literacy impacts everything that a student is going to learn. We have a lot of students that come from poverty, and we know that with poverty, a lot of students do not have access as children at home to literature. So having access to books and learning is going to ensure that they're successful, whatever their path choice is. So the referendum is critical in providing literacy that elevates learning in all core areas and in our support areas as well. The other item I want to highlight when we talk about resources is the word quality. If you heard about the CTE programs, you hear about providing the cost that it takes to provide access to those. We have to have high quality resources there as well to ensure that our students can compete, have the advanced certifications and compete for those jobs. And so without those high quality resources, they wouldn't be able to do that. They wouldn't be prepared. So quality is really important. And it's also important in our the well-roundedness with our art and music programs and being able to experience those opportunities that they might not otherwise have. So we're incredibly grateful. And finally, you've heard this said already tonight, but I want to share as the superintendent of Marion County Public Schools how grateful we are for our current referendum and to our community for supporting this once again. And you may be aware of this, I'm sure you probably are, but I think it's worth mentioning again that for the first time ever, every precinct supported the referendum. And that is very powerful. So I say to the team, and I've said to the schools, that's a reflection of the great work that's happening in our schools and our classrooms every single day. And we are grateful on behalf of 44,000 students to have the community support to continue to strive to make sure that every student is successful in Marion County. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gullett. That's great news. I'm so excited. Next on our agenda is the other matters and future school visits. I will also talk about the ICROC annual election. As we see on point 5 on the agenda, I intentionally didn't talk about that because we're going to talk about that now. So this ICROC board was formed for the 2022 year. And moving forward, I would like to announce the ICROC annual election at our next meeting. I have included in your package a list of all the board members, as well as their phone numbers, the board members that are associated with each school board member and the district. And I want to also talk about the members that are always absent. I have to look at the bylaws and see what the procedure is going to be to take them off, but I'm sure that each board member that is associated with that each school board member that is associated with that board member has the ability to remove that board member. Am I correct, Dr. Gullett?
Thank you, Chair. I do not have a copy of the bylaws, but we certainly will make sure that the board members are aware of attendance so that they can appoint a different member if they need to. We'll be happy to help facilitate that.
And one of the, going back to the list, I want to mention Mr. Glover. He's definitely, I haven't seen him in a very long time. He has been absent for more than 3 meetings. Nervella Hayes. And she's a District 5 alternative.
Ms. Haynes is now a member of our staff. She works at one of our schools,
So
so
we can take her, basically we can take her off the list.
I would support that, yes.
Yes, we can take her off the list. And yes, Neil is,
He's working in another county.
yeah, but he's always here.
He can't be now, though, because he's working down here.
Really? I'm going to check with Neil. Apparently he's working in a different county, but I'm sure he can be here. He's such a great member, and he has been here with since the beginning with us. So I'm definitely going to check with him. And that's District 5, Dr. Sarah James. I think overall, if anything, how about June Daly? When was the last time she was here? Do you happen to know that? Okay, we have to double check that. But definitely, thank you, Dr. Gullett, if you can bring that to their attention. I really appreciate that.
We certainly will. Thank you.
Future school visits. Due to everything that happened in the beginning of the year, we were not able to establish dates for future meeting dates. And since these are quarterly meetings, I would like to set the dates for future meetings. The next meeting date, I want to announce that as for April, the second week in April. The third one is going to be the second week of July. And in September, the second week in September. And then because of the fact that December is going to be a holiday, I would like to propose the second week in November or the 3rd. And that's going to be on a Thursday.
Thursday at 4.
Thursday at 4 at MTI. I will send the dates out in the next meeting minutes. So going back here. I will finalize the date and send an email out. But it's going to be the second week of each month of April, July, September, and November on Thursday at 4 o'clock. Do we have, does anybody has any objections to that?
Nope.
I will send that over, and Dr. Gullett, if we can communicate about the final dates. And then next, do we have any other matters? Does anybody has any comments? I also would like to propose going forward. I know Dr. Gonzalez was very, very big into school visits. I want to coordinate that with you as well, Dr. Gullett, to have future school visits and coordinate that and then send an email out, and maybe we can continue doing that because I think it's a valuable, valuable information to see firsthand what's happening in the classroom and the funding for these students.
Certainly, Chair. We welcome your visits. I know we've had this conversation in prior meetings. Anytime we are ready, and our schools certainly welcome your visits. So we look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments, issues that we need to talk about? If not, I would like to call this meeting to
I make a motion to adjourn.
adjourn.
I second the motion.
Excellent. 5:08, adjourned.
Thank you.